Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with Lido Loca from the top deck of the Spectrum of the Seas, and right now we are in the port of Osaka, Japan. I just wanted to spend some time, give you a little story. Had a little bit of stress before this cruise started. I want to tell you a mistake that I made for first time cruising out of North America, a mistake that I made that almost cost me $1,000. Welcome back to the channel. If you're brand new here, if you're into cruising, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of our content. Okay, so here's the story. I traveled from Charlotte, North Carolina in the United States to Shanghai, China for a cruise to Japan. Now, it's the first time I ever left the continent and I wasn't really sure what to do. And one of those things that I was trying to figure out is whether or not I should take money with me on the cruise, whether I should take foreign currency. So I started doing some research. I found out that I could order currency from my bank. I also found out that I could possibly get currency exchange when I got to the port. But I just wanted to have it all settled before I actually cruised. Kind of waited till the last minute to figure out this money issue. And I could have had the money delivered to my bank, but I think it was going to take 3 to 5 business days, and I didn't have that amount of time. I could have gotten cash and taken US dollars and got it changed first in China and then in Japan, but I've never been to those places. I don't know how that works. People are like, take your ATM, and other people are like, don't use any plastic at all in those countries. So I didn't really know what to do. Well, I looked on the internet and I found this service that's a money exchange, and they are located in airports, and they will also send money directly to your house, which I thought was a great option. So I placed my order. I order some Chinese RMBs, some yuans, and some Japanese yen, and it's all hunky-dory. I put in my debit card. They say, okay, we're gonna send you this money. We're gonna overnight it to you so that you can have it and you can take it on your trip. I was super excited. It was a super easy process. I didn't have to go anywhere else. All I had to do was click a few buttons on the computer and the money was coming my way. Wake up the next morning and it is the day before my cruise. There's a lot to do. I got to make some videos. I got to finish packing. I've got to make sure that I've got everything ready for my cruise. But one thing I have to do is I have to retrieve this money from the UPS driver. And sometimes the UPS driver doesn't always knock on the door at my apartment. So I knew it. And so I put a big sign on the door that said, I'm home, please knock on the door. I need this package. And I also set by the front door. I took my computer out there where I was editing and I set by the front door so there would be no way that I missed the UPS driver. And the interesting thing is the company I use called Telex, they confirmed my order, but they didn't give me a tracking number. So the very first thing I did that morning was I called them and I found out what the tracking number was. So I'm set up by the front door, I've got a sign on the door, I've got the tracking number, and I am continually hitting the refresh button to kind of see where this package is, and it says it's out for delivery by 10:30. So I'm sitting there doing my work and I'm hitting the refresh button, out for delivery, out for delivery, out for delivery, like every 15 minutes, out for delivery. And then I got a status that wasn't out for delivery. Yeah, so I got a status that said, tried to deliver, no one's home, we'll deliver it tomorrow, signature required. I wasn't gonna be in the country tomorrow. I was sick to my stomach. I frantically call UPS, and you have to jump through a variety of menu systems to finally get to somebody who will talk to you. You key in your tracking number, it gives you the message, we try and deliver your package, but nobody was home. We will deliver it again tomorrow. And you finally get through to somebody, and I'm like, look, I was sitting here, and they're like, well, you know, the driver said he tried to deliver it. And I'm like, nobody came to my house. Like, I was so bummed out and so adamant at the same time. And they're like, well, the driver said that he was there. I'm like, there's no way the driver was here. And like, normally they leave something at your door, like we tried to deliver. There was nothing like that. And so I escalated to a supervisor, and they said, all right, we'll track it down. We'll find out what's happening. And I said, hey, look, I got to leave the country tomorrow. I really need this package. And they're like, all right, we'll redeliver it. We'll call you back in an hour and let you know what's going on. Let's be honest, they never call you back in an hour. An hour and a half went by. I'm sick to my stomach. I've got a whole to-do list of things to do. I'm doing my best to get through them, and I'm just waiting for UPS to call me back. Hour and a half goes by. I call them. I'm like, look, I get a different person. I don't even have a case number from the first time. I go through the whole rigmarole again, and I'm like, look, I've got to have this package. I've been here. I've been sitting by this door. The driver, I promise you, nobody came to the door. So they're like, all right, here's your ticket number. We have a real ticket. We've escalated to the local office. They will call you in an hour. I'm like, okay. Fingers crossed. So yeah, it's another promise of a call within an hour. Unfortunately, they do call me within an hour. It's the lady at the local UPS. She said the driver returned the package to the station. And we verified the address. And she gave me a different address than what I had given the company that was sending me the money, and a different address than where I lived. And she said, yep, the driver tried to deliver there. And the odd thing is, where he tried to deliver, it's not even an address in Charlotte. So she said, look, somebody's made a mistake here, but I can't send anybody out to deliver this to you. Do you want to come pick it up? And I was like, absolutely, I want to come pick it up. The problem was that was about 12:30, and she's like, well, I can't let you pick it up until 3 o'clock. So I still don't have my money, but at least I've got hope that I'll be able to get it. And look, sure enough, I did go at 3 o'clock. It took me about an hour and a half to go to where the money was. I was able to pick it up. I had to wait there a little bit, but I did get my currency, and I finally calmed down on the day before I cruised. At the end of the day, this was a huge mistake. This was completely on me. I should not have waited until the last minute to do this. So let my stress relieve some of your future stress. If you need currency, there's a lot of ways to do it. We were just in Osaka today, and there was a currency exchange right when we went through immigration. There was somebody that would take Chinese money, someone that would take United States money, USD, and give you Japanese yen. I could have just brought a wad of USD and exchanged it there. Same thing when I was at the airport in China. There were exchange stations, and even though I felt, look, I was a little apprehensive about it. I was worried about, that process. It's an easy process. So do it a couple ways. Our buddy Don, he lives in a capital city. They have exchanges there. He was able to just go get an exchange. Take enough time to order it from your bank, or just bring cash and exchange it there. This was a great service, and it would have worked out well if the UPS would have went to the right place. If I didn't track that package down, if I hadn't called to get my tracking number, if I wouldn't have known that this attempted delivery thing happened, then I would have just been in the hurt locker. I would have been screwed. So again, it was my fault. It was super stressful. It worked out in the end. But man, that mistake almost cost me $1,000, because my only option would have been to just rebuy the money and then try to track down the money that was there somewhere. They would have tried to deliver the next day, and nobody would have been home because I would have been out of the country. And so it could have been a lot worse. All's well that ends well, but the moral of the story is don't procrastinate. And if you need to get money for your trip, do it sooner rather than later. What about you guys? Have you ever had to exchange money for a trip? How did you do it? What's some best practices that you would like to employ? Hopefully this story is helpful. If you find it helpful, please hit the like button. This is Tony. I'm in Osaka, Japan, having the time of my life. If you want to see all of my adventures in Osaka, there will be cruise vlogs coming out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the content. Thanks so much for stopping by. Again, Lido Loca from Japan. And until the next time, or for now, I'll see you on the Lido. Bye.